My name is Michael Hoak, and I am the server team lead for CX. And CX is a company that provides cloud storage for your files.
How do you define success?
I define success as the journey in which I'm on, right? So it's not about am I reaching goal X or goal Y. It's about how am I progressing through life. It's about am I doing things in a way that is in line with sort of who I am and in general how I want to be living my life.
Where did your inspiration come from?
My inspiration came from two different places. The first is sort of like an internal what am I really passionate about, and for me that's really technology and working with people while creating something cool. And then the second piece is what is the environment that I live in. So I want to do something that's really exciting and impactful, and that really depends on what's going on in the sort of broader environment.
How did you move from idea to something actually succeeding in the market?
So through previous ventures that I've been working with, the biggest piece of learning was actually that in order for an idea to be successful, it has to appeal to the customers. So it really is about talking to the customers and making sure that you're solving their problem and not just something cool that you thought of.
How did you organize your team?
Another one of the interesting learnings from the different companies I've been involved with is that the company is not the idea that you've come up with, but the people with which you create the company. Because an idea is just an idea unless you can execute it. And it takes the right people to hone the idea such that it actually appeals to users, and then actually to make that a reality.
If you could have, what would you have done differently?
So the answer to that is knowing what I know now, would I have made different decisions? That's really the question. And the answer is yes. Definitely I would have made different decisions. However, throughout the sort of like my process to this point, I've tried to work from a place of integrity. So I'm making decisions that are in line with who I am and what is most important to me and what I believe. So given what I knew at the time, I made the best decisions that I knew how.
What makes a great entrepreneur?
So I'm going to take that question and actually reform it a little bit. The question that I think is a little bit more accurate is, what do I look up to in other entrepreneurs? And the answer is that I look for people who are sort of self-actualized. I look for people who are doing something that they're passionate about and not just doing whatever it is they're doing for the end result. And I tend to be attracted to people who are more humble about their successes, right? It's not like they're not sort of like out there to boast about, look at all the cool things I've done, that makes me a great person, but are instead there to say like, I'm doing this because this is what I'm passionate about.
What role did education have in your success?
Education is intimately tied to my success, but I don't believe that education is sort of the formal education that sort of we normally think of when we think education. I think that to really be sort of a great entrepreneur or even sort of like a really successful person in general, it's about sort of learning that continues after school. I've certainly learned way more through the different ventures I've been involved in than in a lot of the classes that I ever took.
What is the most important question we did not ask you in your answer?
Being involved in business, or especially when you're starting a company, it is a roller coaster ride. There are ups and there are downs, and so and I think it's important to acknowledge that those downs do exist, and that the question becomes, when the going gets tough, what keeps you going? And for me, the answer is that I believe that I am working towards something that I care about. I mean, if I'm doing something, it's something that I'm passionate about doing. And then I believe that the risk is worth the reward in that sense. And then at the same time, the other question that sort of comes to mind is, what gets you out of bed in the morning? And it's really the same thing. It's I'm doing something that I'm passionate about, and even when the going gets tough, it's still something that has value for me, even if that particular day may not be great.